When workers suffer injuries from electrically related accidents, the results can be career-ending and, in some cases, fatal. One of the best ways to avoid this is by putting an electrical safety program, ESP, in place at your workplace, as recommended by the NFPA 70E consensus standard. While it is your employer's responsibility to create and establish this program, it's up to you to familiarize yourself and comply with it. Some policies that the program should include are identifying and minimizing electrical hazards, creating a written plan for every electrical task, documenting first-time procedures for electrical jobs, reporting and investigating all electricity-related incidents, and the implementation of electrical safety program controls. Electrical safety program controls are metrics that can be used to measure the program's effectiveness. They can include total time lost to injuries, money spent on workers' compensation, hours of employee training, the number of hazards identified and eliminated, and the number of work procedures that have been altered to create a de-energized environment. Your company's ESP should also emphasize the importance of making employees aware of potential electrical hazards. After all, you can't identify hazards if you don't know what to look for. So your program should be designed so that you and your coworkers always understand what electrical hazards could exist in your facility. This means that you should know whenever there is an electrical hazard present in your work area, what could lead to you being exposed to an electrical hazard, what other personnel could enter the work area and be exposed to electrical hazards, changing work conditions that could lead to increased electrical hazards, and how exhaustion, illness, or distraction could affect your performance and lead to unsafe conditions or committing unsafe acts. Next, the program should provide you with specific safe work procedures that should be followed when you are working with or around electricity. For instance, it should detail how to verify that new electrically powered equipment has been installed and inspected properly. You also need to make sure that all equipment is well maintained and inspected before each use. But inspection and maintenance aren't the only procedures your ESP should address. It should also include instructions for performing specific electrically related tasks. For each task, these written procedures should include the defined scope of the task, the required qualifications for employees working on the task, the number of employees needed for the task, and the hazards associated with the task. The procedures should also address the limits of approach, how close you have to get to a piece of equipment to be at risk of an electrical hazard, safe work practices that should be followed when working on the task, any PPE that should be worn, the tools needed for the task, and any precautions that are associated with performing the task. These procedures should come with any equipment maintenance requirements, electrical diagrams, and other visual aids that you might need to safely complete the work. Another thing that your electrical safety program should include is a risk assessment procedure that helps you to identify any electrical hazards in your work area, assess the risks associated with those hazards, and implement appropriate risk controls. NFPA 70E recommends following a specific hierarchy when doing this assessment. First, trying to eliminate the hazard. Then trying to substitute the hazardous factor with a safer alternative. If that doesn't work, using engineering controls to guard against the hazard. Making everyone aware of the hazard so they can avoid it as much as possible. Using administrative controls to change procedures, training, or warning labels. And lastly, wearing PPE to protect yourself from the hazard. Remember, your ESP is a living document and should be updated as equipment and power sources in your facility change, and audited at least once every 3 years.